answer the question to somebody asks you, okay, I mean, we all fundamentally know that we have a shortage of housing in Ontario. We have about 400 to 500,000 immigrants coming into Canada. I think the number's about half that are coming into Ontario. A lot of people want to come to Toronto, Niagara area. How would you answer the question if somebody would instill a little bit of the confidence about the long-term real estate market for somebody seeing these home prices and the rates and the prices of the homes going down? Speaking, how do we state that presence or knowledge or confidence in somebody to purchase a home?
So to answer your question, there's two parts that I look at. One is what you mentioned about population growth. That is a big factor when it comes to real estate. How many people are moving into an area that then need to buy or rent a home that will increase the demand for real estate. And just on that point, we've not been building anywhere close to the number of homes. We're starting to build more and we're starting to allow for duplex, triplex conversions, but that's not even close to meeting the current demand, and definitely not enough to work backwards and almost provide enough housing to fill up the backlog of demand that's there. The other painful realization this past year has been carrying costs also definitely affect the value of housing.
Right.
So I think Warren Buffett said that interest rates are like gravity to the value of assets, and assets as a whole, stocks, everything, right? And we're seeing that, right? So the higher interest rates go, real estate prices do decline. We are protected because if you notice, even with the decline, the cost of owning a house is actually increased.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Because people are still willing to pay more monthly because there's still demand. So even though interest rates came down, the cost of living has not come down.
No.
Because that's fundamentally the demand for housing. So the future outlook of real estate will be determined by both those factors, what interest rates do and what the population do. We cannot predict what interest rates are going to do. We can try, we can make our predictions, but Peter Lynch, one of the great investors from America from the 70s and 80s, one of his quotes is, if you can predict interest rate movements 3 times in a row, and if you have 10 grand, you can become a billionaire by putting it in the interest rate options market. How many billionaires do we know of that became so from predicting interest rates? Like, I don't know of a single one.
Exactly.
So that's likely not a feasible area to predict. We can predict population growth. The statistics are right there. They're telling us, and every year there seems to be more immigrants than their benchmark, than their target, and it just
for sure. And that comes back to making quality decisions, right? Like, I think I don't know if most people might be a fan of Gary Vee or whatever, but the one thing that I took from him is he said, look, I'm trying to go 98 for 40 or something. Like there are going to be losses in your journey, but he's trying to win 98 times. Whereas opposed, some people are so situational or have analysis paralysis or don't take action, and they're trying to go 2-0 or 3-0. I'm just trying to paint a picture on there are going to be losses, but if you continue to make those quality decisions, there's going to be things that won't go your way. There's going to be things you're not going to know. But if you can base your decisions upon fundamentals, the cost of living, population growth, cities that you know are growing, cities that you know have good neighborhoods, generally speaking, that's where you're going to build long-term wealth. Correct?
It's quality decisions, and quality decisions are not actually that hard. That's one of the funny things. Like, even one of the people I love to study about is Charlie Munger. I think you've probably heard me quote him like a million times.
I don't know if it's ever Koukun speaking or Charlie Munger speaking.
through my mind. But one of the things he says is, one of the reasons of his success is by trying to do the simple truths versus the complicated things that are hard to know. So like in this case, trying to predict interest rates is hard to know. Looking at population statistics is like a third grader can look at it and just be like,
Google,
it's going up, and then every time I drive in Toronto, there's more people on the streets, and every year it seems to be even more, right?
And more diverse too as well.
More diverse, and like it's it's one of the places in North America that's growing the fastest, right? So if you stick to the decisions that are easier to make, and then you avoid the things that people lose a lot of money doing. Flipping properties is risky. Borrowing money at 10-15% private lenders to try to buy properties and hoping for a refinance to pay it out. You can do that, but it just adds risk, right? And if you just go, I think the best way to another Charlie Munger quote, if you see a whirlpool, don't try to go to the edge of the whirlpool and hope to miss sinking to the bottom. Go 1 mile away. Just stay way the hell clear of it, right? If you see people losing their shirts with flipping properties, don't do it, right? If you see people borrowing crazy amounts.
Where they can get tied into is that they do see the 5 or 10%. I don't know what the numbers are, but they do see the people who are doing really well with it, or are in the market in which a flip does work, and they do see them making the money in 6 months or 8 months. Like, oh, I want to do this. Then it's always a shiny object syndrome, right? It's like, I'm gonna do this. Oh, and then you get burned at one point, and it's like, oh, and what's the next train? What's the next
100%.
And then it goes back to the other things when we want to talk about keeping things simple. Like we talk about, like you said, investing in good neighborhoods, good properties, finding good quality tenants, doing good quality renovations if they're needed. We can make the list a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, but it's pretty simple.
Right? Think about even cryptocurrency. A lot of people have made money in short periods of time, but a lot of people have also lost money because of jumping onto the bandwagon after it's gone up and then watching its decline. And I don't know, it's a game that I've just stayed away from. Like I've had just no interest in it. I had no thought that I had an insight into this better than anyone else.
And exactly. And I mean, for me, it's I completely stayed away from cryptocurrency for one reason. I have no idea how it works. I don't want to get into it. I have some idea of blockchains, this and that, crypto. But I have no direct knowledge of it, and I don't want to get into it.
Which is a simple filter to go through life. And you don't need to make money in something you don't understand.
And that's one of Warren Buffett's key principles as well, especially why he's been such a big advocate for investing in Coca-Cola. It's a very simple brand. They sell products all around the world. Everyone knows the taste. It's very cookie cutter, very simple. There's other investments such as like Visa or MasterCard. You can understand the model very simply.
Check out Hanish's YouTube channel, Home in Niagara with Hanish Nagrani. We'll have a link in the description below as well. He's going to start posting some content about the Niagara region.
Yeah, for sure. Just sharing a lot of Niagara content, expertise, some of my favorite restaurants, golf courses, things to do, whether it be Niagara Falls, St. Catharines, Welland. Maybe you've lived here for some time, but there's some things that you've missed or I bring about. But maybe I've missed some things, and I'd love for you to share them with me as well. So let's enjoy the Niagara region while we can, right?
Awesome. All right. Hope you found this helpful. If you're interested in working with Hanish or our team, definitely check out our beginner's guide to investing in the Niagara region in the comments below. And until next time, all the best.